All right, welcome back to Discovering the Foundations of Truth. My name is John Lemus.
You got it.
Mo Magaza, Director Mula.
Hussein Amroa.
Again, we kind of get together to meet to talk a little bit about some of the truths. And the reason why we started this was because the more truths you understand, the less you actually struggle in your life. One of the first questions I want to just pose to you guys, or it's actually a statement, and see how you guys interpret it, is identity is your destiny. What do they mean by if I say your identity is your destiny? Any ideas?
We talked about it something like this last
A
week.
little bit. I just
Yeah.
wanted because they didn't talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I remember
I'm gonna let
catching
them,
a little bit of
them
it.
talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So if I tell you your identity is your destiny,
Yeah.
because everybody's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? What am I? The idea of identity is your destiny. Basically, once you figure out who you are, you know, where you're from, and once you have your identity, your destiny will actually just come to you. Yeah. But if you never really understand, you know, why you're here, who you are, and your identity, then, like I said, your destiny is always going to be somewhere else.
so, like, what are the aspects of identity?
So identity is the 5 questions. It's
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
who are you? You know, where are you from? Why are you here? What can you do? Where are you going? So if you can answer those 5 questions, then you'll know about your identity. And like I said, as you're going through life, you want to figure out, you know, the answers to those 5 questions. So, all right, next one is some things have to be believed to be seen. Some things have to be believed to be seen. Why would they say that?
I think with that is it starts with the belief first because once you believe it, you can make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think is believing is achieving.
Okay.
Because believing is a thought,
Okay.
you know, and once you put that thought in process, because then you get a lot of thoughts and you can entertain whatever thoughts you want.
Mm-hmm.
But once you entertain a thought, you make it a reality.
Okay, here's something you got to wrap your mind around. Everything for your destiny or for what you're doing in this world is already here.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Okay, at the level that you're at right now, you just don't see all the opportunities right now. So that the more you work on yourself, the more you work on your identity, the more opportunities will present themselves. And like I said, it all kind of folds into play.
So what are and I'm me right here. I'm gonna be like I'm starting from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the things does one need to do to see those opportunities? Because humankind is blind,
Mm-hmm.
oblivious, and ignorant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not understanding that everything's already here.
Right.
The opportunities are here, and not being able, even they might be in your face, but you're so oblivious and ignorant to see
I might
them.
be sitting right next to the
Yeah,
person who's got
absolutely,
the
for
answers
sure.
to what I want to do.
So, what are the steps, or what are the things that one needs to take to see those opportunities, to also learn and not be so ignorant or not be so oblivious?
Okay. I think it has to do with a lot of mind shifts because we have a lot of beliefs that really don't serve us. So if you have a belief that does not serve you, you're gonna have to find something that actually will help you out to find different things. Like I said, a lot of it does come back to beliefs, you know, and like I said, you actually get your beliefs by who you live with, your environment, you know, your schooling, just things that are going on around you. And you really don't know who you are by what's around you, okay? Because what's around you changes all the time. So the only way you can find out who you really are is by looking inside of you. That's where your identity is. So the more you look at your identity, then you're going to start seeing things, you know, like just an idea of seeing a potential in something. Everything has a potential to be something else. So, I mean, understand some of the truths, changing your beliefs, and just, like I said, just keep an open mind, you know, will actually help you get to the point where, you know, you're going to be seeing more opportunities. And really, like one of the truths that I actually had a hard time with first, everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just cut my finger, messing around with a dog thing, but it's like I could have got mad. I could have been screaming, hollering, you know, and I could have said, well, I'm not coming here tonight because I got hurt. Like I said, you have to look past what happens because what happens is already written. You know,
Mm.
For
and
sure.
it's already there. So obviously that maybe not do something that night that I wasn't supposed to do. I mean, there's always a reason for something. So that's kind of how I look at, finding your opportunities. So
Question for
go
that.
ahead. Yep.
You said everything happened for a reason. Is it
Mhm.
my duty to like figure out what that reason is? Because I
Yes.
can just forget about it if it happened.
Right. You have to assign a value to or assign, a reason for everything that happens in your life. And to get ahead in this world, you have to try and look at the positive. Because if you look at everything as negative,
Is
then
that productive though?
I think it is. It's working for me. Yeah, like I said, all you have control of is how you look at something. Like everything in the past already happened. So I can sit here and worry about, why did this happen to me? Or I can look at it as that had to happen. So now I got stronger. God doesn't really try to alleviate your pain. He's rather develops your character. Okay, that's the idea. And like I said, some
It
people
definitely depends on the mindset of the person. Like you said,
absolutely. It's your
they
mind
could
shift
believe the
mindset.
reason could be negative, like you said, and they could waste time on that. Or they could be a positive and seek the opportunity of that reason. Like it also depends. on who the individual
Absolutely.
is.
Yep. So like I said, that's a choice. So you make that positive choice and you're going to be ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, a mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to its old dimensions.
Mhm.
A mind that is stretched to new experiences can
Yeah.
never go back to its old dimensions.
It's opening up to new things. So realistically, you're
The
gonna
more you
get
see,
out
the
from
more
your
you're going to
normal
see.
things.
Yeah, the more you look for something, the more you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if you never thought that somebody could be a billionaire or a trillionaire, you would never try and do that. Now you see it, it's happening more and more. And
Yeah, somebody got to break the record.
yeah. Okay.
It's impossible.
Yep. Never send out energy you wouldn't want to receive back.
Agreed.
Okay. Why do you agree?
Because you're giving something that you don't want.
Okay. So when you give to somebody else something you don't want, what happens?
It usually comes back to you because they don't want that as well.
Okay.
I think a lot of it is whatever goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a short by this Islamic scholar, like I think I'm saying his name wrong, Mufti Menk.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying like it doesn't matter if the person is a child, poor, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say something to them where they're gonna feel some type of way, because whatever you say to them is gonna, if you make them feel a certain type of way, somebody's gonna come and make you feel that, because you are gonna experience that pain that you're causing them. So if you're talking to people, you have to talk to them with respect. Talk to them how you would want, you to be spoken to. So it's just basically like understanding whatever goes around comes around.
Yeah. And understand this, you only know one person. So when you're talking about someone else, you're really telling them about yourself.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost like that's why they call it spelling. You're casting a spell, but you actually have it in your own self. You're the one saying it. So. This is a quick one for couple therapists. We are all married. Yeah. Okay. It says 7 patterns of those who actually are doing well. So number 1, I'm going to ask you guys at each one, is it working in your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have boundaries with family. Does that work for you? Do you have to set boundaries with family?
I think so. You definitely have to
Yeah,
set
you definitely
boundaries with
do.
family.
What happens if you don't?
Then you're not only like you're letting you're wasting your time, and you're not being upfront with it's like yes or no's, right?
Mhm.
And you're not being you're not telling them like what you can do, what you're gonna do for them, and what you're not gonna do. So basically, like you're wasting your time and let them have access to you whenever they want to, and you actually living for them instead of living for yourself.
Correct. Okay. So we'll move to the second one. The couples were actually friends. There's actually people that are married that aren't even friends with each other. So are you friends with your and what's your definition of friend?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not friends with my wife, but I'm working towards it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say we're best friends.
Right.
Um,
It may start that way
Yeah.
sometimes, but like
Yeah.
I said, life happens
yeah,
and you forget. Like I said, this is what happens when couples are doing well.
Yeah.
So you might have been doing well before kids came, before bills came,
Yeah.
you know, but these are things you got to remember to try to get back to.
Yeah.
That way, when you do, then you'll thrive a little bit better.
Can you bucket friends in different category levels? Like you said, you're not best friends, but they still friends. Like that still count.
I'm saying
Well,
I'm working towards it.
Towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
See,
fine.
the reason why you want to be best friends is to understand is the female that you're with is supposed to be your number one person.
For
Yeah,
sure.
If
you
she's
gonna rely
not-
on her.
Yeah, I'm saying if she's not, and you're relying on other people for something that she should be doing, then she's going to find something else to do. Just
Oh,
like
for
how
sure.
I go
Man,
with
I'm
my
gonna
wife.
I'm gonna
you
be
know, loves-
100% with you.
Yeah.
Like you making it is it's that simple, right?
It sounds simple.
It sounds simple. Right. That's what I'm saying when I say I'm working towards it.
Uh-huh.
I'm working towards it because you can ask somebody to do something
Mhm.
and not do it or don't do it in time.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Do it at that
it-
point, then
yeah.
you're controlling. That's not friend.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But with friendship, there have to be respect,
Mhm.
same different level of like understanding,
Mhm.
and also same level of accountability.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm working towards those.
That's good.
I'm
I'm not talking about you right now.
I'm not-
I tried to
I'm
get
just
my
saying,
own. I
I
tried to
will.
get my
I
own
need to
thing.
get it out.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
That's-
I tried to talk about mine.
Yeah, I'm
because
trying to
my
get it out.
wife,
Yeah.
you know, when I was teaching and I was playing pool almost like semi-professionally and just doing my own thing, my wife felt this type of way. Now she has her own little thing going
Yeah.
on. Now I'm getting caught between the two,
Yeah.
and I'm finding out it's much easier to go with what she's doing. Otherwise, you're gonna, like I said, when you're not together, you know, you have division. You
Mhm.
know, you have two visions. And a lot of people have two visions and they're
Yeah.
living in the same house, but they're not going the same direction. You know, so
Okay.
the idea is to try to get, it says in the Bible, God made man, didn't have the wife there yet. God gave him work. So now Adam is working. While he's working and communing with God, then he brought the female into the picture. Sometimes we get a female a little too quick and you don't have your work together yet and you don't know what you're going to do in your life. And like I said, she can't jump on a ship that she has no idea where it's going. you
Right.
know? All right, so that's the second one. Are you friends? Now the third one.
You ain't even asked these two.
Go
Oh.
ahead.
Um,
This don't have to be confessions. you
Yeah,
know,
he has
but
to.
yeah.
I mean,
Hey, this
from the
could be-
jump, I
yeah.
always look at this person as a friend, like
Uh-huh.
like a trust. Like I
So
wouldn't even
what's
marry
your
them
definition
as-
of a friend?
For me, as a friend, is a person like if I can trust. That's one
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like accountability, even when we don't agree to certain things, there's still that level of respect. We don't gotta do
Okay.
exactly what the other person asks for,
Right.
as long as you respect what they're saying,
Mhm.
and like reliability. Like if anything happens, if some people are not around, especially as my wife, you probably gonna be the first on contact. So
Okay.
yeah.
yeah, so I guess you
Mhm.
call
Right,
it
you
a
said the same
friend.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you know,
Yeah.
what you think?
What's that question again?
Are you friends with your wife?
Yeah. I mean, I believe I am. I believe it's like working together.
Okay.
With working together, most of the time, you know, she's not usually in the same place I am, because she usually behind. So I have to
Yeah,
teach
she
her a
didn't-
little
yeah,
bit
she didn't
more.
start at the same place. Yeah.
So that's all. It's usually just teaching more. I'm teaching more than she's teaching me. So
Yeah.
realistically, you know, I feel like nobody's teaching me at the time.
Okay. Okay. The next level is you have to have been through really dark times together. Okay. The people that have a strong relationship has been through some things. And
Yeah.
when you get on the other side of those things, then you feel, you know, you doesn't matter what you're talking about. You know, like I said, for some reason, I cannot lie. It's crazy because I think about it all the time. I'll maybe tell her, and I just tell her the truth every time. So when you do that, like I said, you get actually closer to your female.
I'm with you right now. Right now, I don't censor nothing.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to mind.
I mean, you have to
that's
be
what
that
I'm
way
saying.
because
Yeah.
then if you lie to yourself, first of all,
If you
you're
lie
never
to
gonna-
her, yeah, you're lying to
lying
yourself.
to yourself. You're never
Yeah.
going to believe yourself.
Mhm.
So you're not going to get and do what you want to do in life if you're always lying to her because you're lying to yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
You
How
don't
about-
even believe your own lies.
How about this?
ahead.
Like, I'm not. If I just bluntly say how it is, they
Mhm.
might take it the wrong way, and they're gonna give me a clash back. So
Mhm.
sometimes I try to sugarcoat it a little bit, you know, make it so that I don't
I
get
like
that
it.
clash back. But I'm speaking the truth either way. It's just the way I
You're
approach it.
speaking
Like,
your truth.
yeah, it is my truth, but
Yeah, and your truth has to travel with love.
if I say you're dirty and I say that directly to you, you ain't gonna like that.
If you say you're dirty to somebody, who you talking about?
The person that left the mess.
No, I'm talking
We
about
talking about you.
talking about you. You
Yeah.
have an issue with what's going on here.
No, but personally, I want to approach it like that. I want to be like, hey, you're dirty, clean this up. Be like, hey, you kind of left some stuff right there. I'll appreciate it if you clean that up.
Yeah, there you go.
That's with love.
Yeah.
But there was a point of me where I was like, yo, you're dirty. Like, come on now. Like, there's a child like clean this shit up. Like, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Like,
But that doesn't work.
it doesn't work. I learned
That
that,
creates
doesn't
resistance.
work.
Yeah, you learned that.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, but it's,
But
I
I'm
think
saying
the
truth
difference
has
is
to
truth
travel
travel
with
with
love.
love. You know,
if it travels faster than love, it's going to come back to you. It's
No
back you
doubt.
back. Okay, they let each other be themselves or love or accept each other.
Mhm.
Do you do that with your wife right now?
For sure.
I do it too. Probably a fault. And like I said, it
Yeah.
actually works because even if she's doing the wrong thing, she's going to figure it out and she's going to get tired of it. If I tell her about herself, she's going to think it's me against her. So sometimes you got to let your partner fall on her face because they're doing too much. And eventually, like I said, she has to figure it out herself.
but I'm saying you have boundaries with, like you have your own personal boundaries that you don't let anybody cross,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. So even if you can let her fall to her face whatever many times, but you set some boundaries that you're never gonna let anybody cross. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I don't have, I mean, something like, say if she ends up messing around with somebody else,
Yeah.
I just, God bless you.
Yeah.
It's time to go. You know, what I mean? It's like you chose.
Those are your boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part is.
That
is
better be a
about-
boundary.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's about the only boundary I can think of. Because
Yeah.
anything else, I can
You can
understand.
recede,
I can
yeah.
receive it. I can
Yeah.
try and work through it.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you make that choice, you made the choice. It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about what you want.
Yeah.
Selfish.
That's love. So, yeah, selfish on her part. But
Mhm.
yeah, okay. They have courage.
But in terms of like
ahead.
making mistakes, of like, of course, you want somebody to figure, because you gotta look at it. I always tell my wife this:
Mhm.
God gave you free will.
Mhm.
Why should I be the one to tell you what to do? If
Mm-hmm.
God is not speaking every night, do this, I'm not gonna tell you every night, do this. I'm gonna let you figure it out.
The biggest thing is, if you try to do that,
Yeah.
you're basically telling God he ain't doing what he's supposed to do.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Right.
saying that. I'm
That's
just
what I'm saying.
saying.
That's what
I'm
you
not
gotta think
yeah,
about.
Yeah.
Because some people do try to control, they try to manipulate, they try and get a person to change. You can't change that person.
I'm just saying I'm giving you that freedom because
Absolutely.
God
That's
already
what you
gave you
need.
that freedom.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
But does that qualify as your boundary? That means you just disqualify your boundaries, though. Like now you don't even care.
You don't need boundaries
Yeah.
on certain things. It's
Yeah.
not about
Yeah.
that. It's about accepting who she is, what she's doing, and allowing her to, better
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
That's the only way she's going to get better. He can't make her better.
No, I understand that, but are you talking like from the beginning? Like you just be like, oh, you have free will, you can do whatever you want, and let you figure out with God's fate.
Nah, it don't work like
No.
that.
No, it's not about so much of like from the beginning. I didn't know all this, right?
Mhm.
I'm learning as I go.
So he was probably
Yeah.
controlling when
Yeah.
he first started. That's what everybody starts. Like I
Yeah.
said, when I first started teaching, I was in command style. You were listening to me. I know what I'm doing. That's just the way it goes. But
no, for sure. I mean,
your communication style has to switch. If it doesn't switch, then you're not going to mesh with the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they have courageous conversations. So if something goes awry, then you have to be able to talk about it. I don't care what it is. Like I said, my wife can't be afraid to come to me and say, "This is going on. I need help." Like I said, I can't be afraid to go to her.
For
If
sure.
you are, and you're going to your buddies or you're going to
Yeah, that ain't
another
gonna work.
female or whatever, whenever you confide in someone else,
something.
that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
good. Yeah.
yeah. You're
Okay.
literally dismissing, your
Yeah,
partner.
her skills. I
Yeah.
mean, God put her in your heart
To help
in her,
you.
Yeah, to help you. She's a
I
helper.
hate that.
Okay, so the next one is they fought. Okay, you will
Like
fight.
physical.
No,
No.
Not necessarily physical.
When you say fight, that's all I can think of, man. An argument is one thing. A fight is different to me. I don't know what y'all
Well,
talking
a
about.
fight means like I ain't talking to you for the next week. Sometimes I mean that's
Oh, no,
when
that's
you fight.
crazy.
it's-
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I used to do it. Be like, usually it would last 2 or
guys
3
like to
days.
walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
But
we
and
don't,
then,
we don't deal
like,
with emotions. Really.
I'm
can
like,
never
that's
get to that.
stupid
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it
crazy.
is.
because you're not communicating to fix that issue.
It's not.
And I probably haven't done it.
You
Like,
go to sleep.
huh?
Like you go to sleep for 3 days. Like that
Yeah,
shit would
3
bother me
days.
so much. I wouldn't even go
But
to
like,
sleep
here's
that
the
night.
thing: like, she would know what to do. She still cook and clean and do what she got to do, and I know what to do. We just don't communicate. But then you realize that's not really solving the issue that you need to talk about, right? It's easier to just sit down and talk about the situation, and yeah, but I think the longest I have went without talking to her for probably like a week, and it wasn't. It just
That's
it's stuff
different.
that
Yeah.
she know what she was doing, what she needed to do, and I know what to do. And but
Like,
looking
no
back, it's like,
talking like for a week.
no,
That'll be impossible.
In the
Like,
same house?
yeah, in the same house.
Yeah, I got
That's
that
just
one. Yeah, maybe that was the beginning.
yeah, it's the
Yeah,
beginning. I mean,
yeah, I
like
can feel
everybody's feeling themselves. There's egos.
Oh,
There's,
yeah.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Ew,
for sure.
like a week, my guy. Like it's a long ass time. Like,
Yeah,
what?
week is time.
What if you gotta go somewhere? You gotta be like, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'll be back. Just letting you know.
Just go.
Just go.
Oh man,
Dang,
I used to
what?
stay out till 2, 3 in the morning.
Shit. What if she gotta go somewhere? You gotta know where
Oh, well.
she's
Yeah,
at.
she gotta go.
Shit, I ain't built like that. I can't go.
But I'm
She's-
saying,
You got control what she's doing.
As long
Nah,
as-
it's not control. I just need to know. Like, what if something happens?
I can feel it.
Like, I always let my wife know, oh, I'm gonna be here. Just letting you know I'm gonna be here. That's it. In case you go, I don't want her to be blowing up my phone. Where you at? Why didn't you tell me? Like, at least I let you know. Like, it's called communication. That's it.
I can feel it.
And I go about my business.
All right, the last one is they make light of each other's quirks, like stuff that bothers you. Don't make it a big, capital punishment. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like I said, some people just have. I remember one of the first things that happened in my marriage. My wife said the toilet paper has to go off the end like this. It can't go backwards. I said, "Are you
Okay.
serious?"
Yeah.
I have to look at how I put the. So I just put the toilet paper like this. Like I said,
Mhm.
when you get stronger in your mind and there's some things just ain't worth fighting over.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If she's putting little things on her, let it go. Give
Y'all
her-
just laugh.
Yeah.
I can't.
I laugh until she keeps telling you every
Yeah.
time you put that on there.
Exactly.
They don't give up.
Yeah, if that's how she want to do it, of
That's
course,
it.
why
Yeah,
not?
that's- Yeah. All right. So moving on. Be careful of who you let on your ship because some people will sink the whole ship just
Oh,
because
yeah.
they can't be the captain.
Yeah, but it's some people can destroy the boat. I would call it the ship from the inside. 'Cause-
That's what he's saying.
That's what you said.
That's
Be
what
careful
exactly.
who you let on your ship.
Yeah,
This really works well with the relationship. Like I said,
Mhm.
if you're married to somebody, it's supposed to be for the rest of your life.
Yeah, taking
So
the
you have
boat,
to- yeah,
taking the
take
boat apart.
Yeah,
One by one.
piece at a time. You got
Hey.
little leaks here and there. You don't know where. it's
not
going.
only that, if you let somebody else, then that boat might be heavier. Now you might,
Yeah. You might have had a leak you didn't know about. To the
Yeah,
heavy
yeah,
one.
there's something heavy that
Yeah.
you just sink.
Okay, so all the advice in the world will never help you until you help yourself.
For sure. You got to stand up for yourself and do
Yeah,
it.
we can sit here and talk about stuff forever, but until you apply or until you do, be is one thing, but you got to do, and then you'll have.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
You could talk all day. They just going to be okay.
Okay, so when anyone makes you angry, know that it's your own thought that has angered you.
That's true.
You have to
I
break
mean,
that
I won't
down
say
a
this.
little bit.
I won't say this your own thought.
It's your own thought.
because
that
you
has
just
angered
took
you.
in their thought and it made you mad.
Who took in their thought? You
'Cause they
did.
said
yeah.
something. Yeah.
So you took in their thought. You let it in.
Yeah, so it don't
So
make
it's
it
your thought now.
I can agree
You ain't
to
got to
your
take.
point.
You ain't got to take possession of someone else's thought.
You right. You right.
I'm saying if you do, that's what they're saying. If
Hey,
you stop at
he
every
did
dog,
intentionally though.
if you stop at every dog that barks at you, you ain't never getting anywhere. There's gonna be people barking at you.
It
There's gonna be
depends
people
if
doing
it's-
stuff.
If it's in the leash.
Yeah,
I'm saying, first of all, if they're talking like that to you, they're already below you, trying to bring you
Understood.
down to where you trying to, where you ain't trying to be. So, like I said, when somebody makes you angry, know that you made yourself angry. If you know that, then you won't make
I
yourself
agree
angry.
with your point.
How you go around that? Like, what can you do?
This is what I do. I'm telling you, if it comes out of your mouth, you're talking about yourself. You either project or you hold me accountable.
No,
I'm
I'm
not doing
talking from
anything.
his perspective. Like, it's their thought. They said it to me, and I got angry because what they
So-
said.
So you got angry when somebody says something to you, they're talking about themselves. This is how I get around it. You got to
He's talking
understand that
about-
he's not going to say nothing to me unless he feels a certain type
Even
of
with
way.
examples, like directed to
Give me an
you,
example.
if they say you did this, did that, all these examples about you, something that you physically done,
It does not bother me unless
and
I
you saying that's
truly
about
did.
them?
Yeah, because it bothers them. They wouldn't tell you if it didn't bother them.
That's ignorance, Lee. That's
It's not
really ignorance.
No, that's smart.
Shit, I don't know about
It's
that.
called emotional intelligence. To understand somebody's either projecting on you or they're holding you accountable to what God says about you.
What's the
So-
empathy in that?
What do you mean?
I don't
Equation.
care about empathy.
What do you mean by they're holding you accountable about what God says about them.
I'm just saying, if I'm doing something wrong, say
Mhm.
I'm smacking my wife,
Mhm.
and you tell me that you're not supposed to put your hands on another person because we're not supposed
Right.
to dominate other people. We're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to dominate resources. They're talking about what God already said.
Mhm.
So that's holding me accountable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, if I just like my pizza, with pepperoni and cheese and, anchovies, and you say, oh my God, you got fish on your pizza, that's not holding me accountable. They're projecting they don't like anchovies.
Okay.
Why
So
should I
I
make
see
you
what
angry?
you're
That's your
saying.
pizza. I
Yeah.
don't get that.
That
All
was an
right.
example.
That's just
Get a
an
better
easy example. It's an
You
easy
want a better
example.
one.
Like I said, the idea is if that person is talking about you, 99% of the time they're talking about themselves. So that just totally takes me out
It's
of the
something that's
situation.
bothering them. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
he's
something
trying
that
to
bothers
say.
them. Think about it. If it's your birthday,
Mm-hmm.
you don't look around and say, "Oh, you're nasty. You stay. You're worried about your birthday. You're thinking about
Yeah,
yourself."
you enjoy yourself.
Shit, I don't really be caring about birthdays.
I mean, when you was younger, just
Yeah,
say.
when you're younger. That's what I was talking about. But anyways, like I said, they're either doing one or two things. So this is emotional intelligence. If you learn this, it's going to get you so far ahead of the average person because the average person is going to bark right back. You know what I mean? Now it's who's the louder,
Mhm.
So that's bad. It ain't about being loud. All right, 10 habits that successful people do that others don't.
Mhm.
So first one, learn to regulate emotions and emotional intelligence. Once you learn that, you get ahead. Resist instant pleasures. Why would somebody successful be able to resist instant pleasures?
That's gonna teach you discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you have to be focused and understand that instant pleasures are only like significant. Literally like what do you call it? They're literally short, happiness, right? And that's also a distraction. So it's basically disciplining and staying focused on your mission and not be able to be knocked out of track or where like on the road or wherever you're trying to go.
Okay.
Stay
Stay active
focused.
too.
Yeah, how about running towards fear and discomfort?
So pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah.
Say that one more
Mm.
time, Lee.
You were supposed to run towards fear and discomfort.
I like that.
Yeah, because it moves you away from it.
Well, when you run towards it, you understand fear is false evidence of fear.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even be afraid of it. And something that's uncomfortable is actually going to make you stronger. So you're
You
taking
think we all have limits? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Everybody got a
Limit like to fear. Like you think somebody
limits
just
are
don't care.
what you put on yourself.
physical limits. Everybody have physical limits.
Like in terms of fear, like you can have your standard of like a level of fear, and I have my standard of fear. You think it's like as
Brother,
a
I
human
don't-
being,
I
is
don't,
this
I don't fear anything.
you don't fear anything?
Not anything.
You can't. So you can't just run into like a middle
I'm
of the
not,
highway.
first of all, I ain't running anywhere. That's dumb. That's vague. There are dangerous things out there. That don't mean you fear them. When you bring
You can
fear,
respect them.
I
yeah,
mean,
you can respect them. But when you bring
I
fear
mean,
into it, then you emotionally you run yourself ragged. You don't even think right.
Well, you respect them, but
Yeah, I
if
mean,
they
like I
coming
said,
towards you, there's gonna be some fear. I'm just
it's
being-
not fear because I'm saying where you going when you're out of here. I'm saying it all
You're
comes
dying.
from
You're not
you
passing
don't
death.
die. Yeah.
Yeah, we
But I'm saying
understand.
like the body's not gonna pass, death. Just like that's
Just a quicker way to get to
Yeah.
heaven. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good with that.
everybody ain't going there.
No.
Yeah.
That's where you got to figure that out
Yeah.
now.
Definitely.
Okay, meditate and pray. Create healthy boundaries. Integrity with your words. We talked about this before. If you're not a man of your word, then I can't really believe anything you say.
Understood.
And eventually you got to get to be a man of your source's words. So what your source says about you, everything else is a lie. Limited idea entertained. So you get the truth in you. Like I said, I don't care what the situation is. I can tell you how you're going to react if you're a man of the source. So you got to be giving and kind, optimize body and sleep, coachable and seek feedback, and consistent with goals and actions. Only fools use their mouth to speak. A smart man uses his brain. A wise man uses his heart. Only fools use their mouth to speak. A smart man uses his brain, and a wise man uses his heart.
I mean, he always have to explain himself.
Always gotta say what I tell you. If you have to explain it,
Yeah,
you don't believe it yourself.
definitely. You want somebody else to believe it.
Yeah, so you're trying to sway the other person's idea.
How about if you try and teach?
What's the best way to teach?
You
Show
mean by
somebody.
example, that's for one. But like I'm saying, in the school setting, as a
Because the words are the worst way to communicate.
In a school setting?
Huh?
In a school setting?
in a school setting. I don't say much.
So like when your
Everybody
students
thinks-
gotta learn math and you trying to show them the
I
These
give them an
steps
example,
one by
then
one.
they need to learn. I'm telling you, for that person to learn math, if they look at an example, they should be able to do it.
like right away you just giving them an example without even explaining what's the point of it.
Because
I mean, I don't know
once
what
I
school
once
I
I
haven't been to
label it,
school
once
as well.
I know, but I'm saying that's why school don't work very well. Because we try to spoon feed so much, we explain away everything, takes all the creativity away from the brain of the person you're talking to.
I mean, there's steps to it. You obviously need to get to that step. Most of it, we have a test, we get examples for a reason because you learn it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the initial beginning, like you have a certain subject
Mm-hmm.
and you have to convey it to your students. You just gonna throw it at them and let them
So-
figure it out.
I have a different idea of school. I mean, I don't think we should be taking the 5 to 8 subjects we have. I've never used social studies in my life.
You talking about change? I'm talking about reality.
I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about math. If I truly want to learn math and I need it for my job, I'm going to learn it on the job.
Yeah, we're not talking. That's when
learned
that happens.
college-
Talking about like kids in school, like middle school, high school. We're talking about standards systems like
We're
going on
talking
right
about
now.
The way we've done it for hundreds of years.
Yes,
and
yes,
it-
I'm
it
talking
ain't
about
working.
that. What do you mean?
It
If it's
ain't
not
working.
working, that's true. But like, is there other
He
ways though?
defended
Like,
his
I'm
point.
trying to explain the other way. Right
That's
here.
not what we're
Only
doing right now.
fools use their mouth to speak.
so you telling me all
A
my
smart
teachers were
man
fools?
uses his brain. A wise man
Did all
uses
my
his heart.
teachers fools?
That's what you said right now. You said all my teachers were fools. All of them. Because all of them did the
How
exact
many
same
teachers
test.
you know were rich?
Who are rich? They wouldn't be damn teachers. Some teachers don't want to be.
Don't say nobody
To
want to
be
be
rich.
rich. Everybody wants
Every
some
teacher
money.
I ever asked in my life that wants something else. They
Really?
love to teach, but they don't understand that what they're doing is actually holding them back.
I don't know. I can't.
I mean,
I can't really agree
the
with
question is why are you teaching, and if you already know it's holding you back.
that. You kind of teaching us right now, and you're speaking too.
No, I'm talking about in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I already know you love to teach.
So when I first started, I thought I could affect a change
Mhm.
in teaching.
hmm
Okay, but now that I get older and realize that's not my job,
But why are you still there?
I'm still there because I'm affecting a change in my little area
Mm.
and being able to do like a little study, how well they learn without me even saying a word.
Do you think you're the only teacher that's
best.
doing that? There's multiple teachers who could be doing that.
Not
I've never
at
seen any. but it's,
not at Arsenal.
yeah, not
Yeah.
Arsenal for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying I see people try to beat math, beat communication, beat science into these kids' heads so bad. It's like you cannot change somebody. I understand the truth.
If I wasn't exposed to like those schools, I wouldn't even know what math or
You
science
might be
that
a
way.
genius right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know if I wasn't exposed to that.
You
system.
might be a genius right now.
I mean, if you really think about it,
If you
all
didn't
the
have 18 years of going to a place that you hated
I wasn't
or
18.
you
but I hear
didn't
you.
like,
14. I mean,
I'm
he
saying
said
with
including
college.
college. Yeah,
I'm saying
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with college.
yeah. I never liked this school.
Going
either.
into art appreciation, it's like, okay.
Man, y'all speaking for yourself. I enjoy going to school. I ain't going.
You
But I'm
enjoy
saying,
going to
you
school?
bought-
I really like going
you-
physics class. I
See.
really
You
like
took
those
the
classes.
red pill. If
The
you
red
really
pill?
like physics,
That was the only
you
few
go
things I
find
went
somebody
to
that
school
knows
for.
physics, not somebody that's teaching from
What
a
about
book.
history? I enjoy being in
That's-
history
that's-
class. Like,
Then
I
you go
enjoy all
find
them
somebody
classes.
that's traveling around the
then
world.
somebody said like if you want to be a businessman, do not go to a college and let somebody who's a teacher teach you about business because
they
they
never owned
they
a
don't even
business.
have a business. They don't know how you're better off going to a drug dealer
Think
teach you about business rather
Think
than
about all
going to
the
a teacher.
billionaires.
But as an adolescent, like as a 13, 14-year-old, you ain't gonna be thinking about that.
So that's why we
I was
gotta
going there
change.
just to
Yeah.
learn, and I love the
That's
fact
why-
that I was learning.
That's why we got to change. You could learn by yourself, and the stuff you needed.
Yeah,
Not the stuff.
agreed.
I'm saying when they're
You-
basically putting you into a position where you need them to give you something that you could get yourself.
For sure.
I didn't know
Basically,
that.
I think what it is like you would save more time focusing on like the things that God created for rather than waste all those years
Because
because
you don't even know what God created you for when you're stuck in a system that just does nothing but make
Absolutely.
you raise your hand. and go
but
to the
at
bathroom.
least
You
if
can't-
all
you
that's
can't-
taken away
jail.
from you, or like all the schools, whatever, like you have more time to focus on what you want to do rather than be interrupted and be given
yeah,
BS
BS.
that, that isn't really like, when was the last time I use algebra like when I'm counting money? Never. I'm just saying.
Okay. Let's move on. We could argue about that.
Feel
for a
that you
minute.
went into,
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah.
your future self is watching you right now through your memories.
Wow.
Future self is watching you right now through your
Yeah.
memories.
And being disappointed.
And
Oh, yeah, that's
what you
true.
think is good,
Yeah.
God is disappointed.
Yeah.
I'll be grateful. Could be worse.
Future self.
Worse.
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like, man, it's probably talking of this like, come on, man, you could do better.
Come on,
what are you
man.
doing?
You
Come
gotta
on,
put you
man.
on the earth
You
for
was
this.
like there, and then you went back. Come on,
You
man.
went back to school.
Yeah,
you a bum.
exactly.
You got a master's degree. In
Come
what?
on, what?
That's the beauty of now. Gotta focus on now.
Okay, so accept people as they are, but place them where they belong.
Oh, for
Yep.
sure.
You are the CEO of your life. Hire, fire, and promote accordingly.
That's
Yep.
correct.
So you got to think of
You
yourself.
got to
as
have the
your
right
CEO.
team.
All right. Goes along with the same. The other one. To beat fear, you must go through it, not around it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you never face it, you don't realize it really has no teeth.
Yeah, sometimes we're like, damn, I was
Darkness
afraid
really
of that.
has
And
no-
it was nothing.
It has no force because darkness is nothing more than the absence of light. So when light is not present, there can be darkness. With light present or with truth present, lies got nowhere to go. All right, it's not about being in control. It's about being in alignment.
Being the same path.
Talking about with alignment. What has to be aligned for you to get ahead?
Your mindset.
Your mindset for sure. So that's your
Your
mind.
vision as well, though.
What?
Your
Oh,
vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you want to do. So really it's your mind, your heart, and your kind of your soul.
Mm-hmm.
If you get all those in line with your source, nothing you can do. Everything's going to be possible.
Repeat that one more time. Mind, heart, soul.
Yeah, I'm just saying you have to be in alignment with your source. If something's not in alignment with your source, you're not gonna be real good at it.
Sorry to push back. It's
Go ahead.
The heart. Well, you define heart to me. I'm just.
Your heart is
Edgy
your
about that.
subconscious mind. That's where your beliefs, your fears, all that stuff you store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, your mind is like your conscious mind, subconscious mind, and superconscious. So the idea is, like I said, part of your soul is your heart. So if your
Yeah,
heart
so
ain't
I
in it,
get
you ain't
you.
gonna do it. You know what I mean? So
Does it not come back to that though?
absolutely, it does. Okay, if you want to see the truth, you must be brave enough to look. So a lot of times, whatever you fear, on the other side of that fear is going to be a truth you need.
For sure.
The idea is, like I said, you cannot be afraid of anything. The bigger your faith, the smaller your fear. Fear and faith cannot coexist.
I like how you put that.
Yeah. So if you have high faith, there's nothing to fear because God got you. He got a hedge around you, and He got angels around you, helping you out. Okay, the nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he comes to strength.
You said the man
The
coming
nearer a man comes to a calm mind, if your mind is calm, the closer he is to strength.
I mean, for sure. He got time to think and become himself.
Because if you're emotional and you're reactive and all that stuff, it's hard to be strong.
Yeah, but I think it's just being knowing who you are. Because I think if you already know who you are, you don't really need to.
Yeah, you don't entertain
Don't need to
everybody
say
else's
much or
ideas.
none of that stuff. You know who you are and you know what you stand for and you know what your purpose is. You don't really need to show it or
Entertain
flaunt it or
any
you know.
stupid, yeah.
Does that apply to like knowing who
Everything.
you are?
Everything. That's your
I can
identity.
let me finish.
Yep.
I know myself. I'm an asshole. Do this, do that.
That's not
Is
what
that
you
me?
are.
That's who I can define this. That's who I am.
No, if
I
you,
can
if
define
you
that.
think you are that, then you don't know the truth about who you are.
How can you tell me though? I'm talking for myself.
Because there's a
God
point
did
where
not make an asshole.
yeah.
He gave you one, but he didn't
Exactly.
make you one.
Then that
Mhm,
means you're
damn.
not using for yourself. You should know the source. And instead of saying you should know who you are, you should be like you should know what the source.
That's your
is.
highest self, is what the source says about you. That's the highest truth.
Because
So that's
I
what
seen people who be telling me, "Oh, I'm an asshole. This and that. Don't trust me." That. they're telling you directly
People
that's
are
who they
saying
are. So what you gonna
Yeah,
take that from
that's a
surface
wild
or
one.
what?
But you can tell
never
those
seen
people are
that
not
one.
connected to the source though.
That's why I'm having a hard time understanding. Know who you are. Like if you tell me that's who you are, I'm gonna take it from what you're saying.
Yeah, but like
So if you keep getting truths to that person, they're gonna, like I said, when God spoke His words or put His words down in, His writings, it says the words do not come back unfulfilled. So all you gotta do is speak it, and that's a vibration. And like I said, that's gonna resonate with that person. Why do you think you're an asshole? You know what I mean? What do you do that? Like I said, you just gotta come correct with them. You can't say, oh yeah, you're right, you are an asshole.
but I feel like
challenge that.
if somebody's
Yeah.
telling you I'm this, I'm that,
They
it
don't
could be
understand.
not only that, but there could be a way of them crying for help.
Absolutely.
And people don't even know they they go
They go
see
on with
right
it.
through that and they just go right about
That's
their
what I
day.
do. I try
Yeah.
to do that. I try and kind of hit them with the truth, as opposed to trying to jump on that ship that they're trying to
Then
drive.
Yeah.
should we tell them to figure out know yourself, or should we tell them seek the source?
No, I think if somebody responds with that type of thing, you respond with love. I think that's the thing. You can't tell a person because they already told you this is who I am. They're not gonna hear what you think of them, right? So the only way to like respond to something like that is to respond with love. Like whether be like whatever, you're not this, you're not that. It just be like
Like I said, the
whatever.
only thing about darkness is it's nothing more than the absence of light.
Yeah.
So you're talking about bringing a light into a dark area,
Mm-hmm.
and when that light exposes that darkness, and
The darkness
and you can argue
disappears.
for so long,
Mm-hmm.
then you change. Okay, we don't see things as they are; we see things as we are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we usually take it from the best of our understanding. That's why we see it like that.
Okay,
I think life is about perspective,
it
because
definitely is.
one man's trash, another man's treasure. What's in your heart is what you see out, outside, and how you feel is, what all that stuff is just being. The only reason why is that because if we all saw the same thing, like nothing would be interesting in this world.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can all see the same exact accident. We
Yeah.
get 4 different views.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we have 4 gospels in the Bible. It shows 4 different ways that you can see, Jesus. That's the idea. So, all right, what I want to talk about is something called what's a mind shift? Any idea what the definition would be for mind shift? If I tell you, you got to shift your mind,
You got to put it in another subject.
put it in another subject.
No, I'm not. What I mean, like, if I'm shift your mind, if I'm doing something bad and you telling me to shift my mind, okay, do something else.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's definitely a definition.
Change your perspective.
Definitely change your perspective.
Yeah.
Your pedigree.
Sometimes, like I said, you have a situation or some type of experience that all you gotta do is shift your mind and it changes that experience you just saw. All right, there's this guy named Erwin Raphael McManus. I'm reading a book on his. It's called Mind Shift. He has like 12 different things. If you shift these perspectives, it's going to get you more on the way you're supposed to be. Okay, see if you believe this. You become the sum total of all the people in your life.
The sum total.
The sum
Never
total
heard
of
of that one.
everybody in your life. You become.
That's a lot of motherfucking.
But you're talking about people that are close. You might walk by people, or you might be.
You
on
just
the
said
phone.
everybody in my
Says
life.
you
What do you
become
mean by
the sum
sum
total
total?
of the
Be
people
very
in your
precise
life.
here.
Define sum total.
Well, some people you
Yeah.
have very
Define
little.
define some total.
Sum total is just like everybody
plus
that
one,
you
put it
allow
here.
in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to become the sum total of all those people.
I don't think he.
That's hitting harder for me than
It's hitting hard because for a reason.
yeah.
It hit me hard too.
Yeah.
You say everybody, or you mean like the close
Still
people?
in
All I
sum
said is
total.
you become the sum total of the people in your life.
So
I
basically,
agree.
Mo, I think what it is saying is you taking bits and pieces from everybody
Yeah.
that make you. So what you need to do is you need to edit the people. No, I'm just,
Yeah.
no, real shit.
No, you.
I-
They
he-
say if you got 5
Yeah.
millionaires, you're going to be the 6th.
Yeah. The only reason why is now I gotta make edits to the people that I'm saying
Around you.
make me.
That's because you're the CEO. You got to hire.
So I gotta
put-
edit some people, and this makes sense.
No, I 100% agree. That's why I needed to know.
Okay,
like, you
yeah,
need
yeah.
everybody,
This
because I'm
is-
not just talking about physical human beings. I'm talking
There's gonna
about
be some people been
books
edited out.
and stuff.
But I'm saying for a good reason.
Yeah,
A
no,
lot of
for
people
sure.
are just there for a season.
gotta do it like
they're
that.
They're not there for your whole
Yeah.
life. There are people that are lifers, but a lot of people that come into your life are not supposed to be there forever.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get what you need from them and move on and find somebody that you need more.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
read that again. Man.
yeah, just you become the sum total of the people in your life.
Okay, like I'm trying to. So, as Mo was saying, is it everybody that you come across to, or is everybody that you can, consistently,
Communicate with yourself.
communicate with, or like people that you actually call friends or associate? What is that sum total?
Think about it. If I associate with a bunch of broke people,
Oh, of course.
who am
you're
I going to
broke.
be? I'm going to be
Broke.
broke.
The next
Yeah.
broke person.
If I only associate with people with money, what do you think is going to happen?
You definitely gonna have money.
Okay, so it's everybody.
Yeah,
Obviously, some people are going to have more impact if
Yeah.
they're in your life longer.
yeah,
But like I said, the whole idea is you have to take, you just see how many people, take an inventory of people around you, and if that's not where you're trying to head, you got to find some people that are already there.
Understood.
That way,
Yeah.
you'll be there.
There's
There's
gonna
a
be
bunch
some.
of average people.
There's gonna be some.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a lot of average people in this life. There are
Yeah.
people though that if I try to call Trump right now, he's not answering my phone call because
Nah.
I'm not in his area.
Who is you?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But can you get
You
to
might
the,
look like me, but I don't
can
know
you,
you.
can you
Yeah.
get to that person where, like I said, Elon Musk is like, I don't care who calls him or who he calls, they're going to answer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because his phone calls
Now,
have
the only
value.
reason why I said that is like I'm gonna edit some people out
Uh-huh.
because I need to edit some people out in terms of the
Mhm.
people that I record with,
Right.
people that I shoot video for. Is like all that stuff is like, okay, if you're not talking this amount of dollar, we don't
You
need
already
to
do
talk.
that naturally.
I need to
Yeah.
do more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to
Well, I
edit
told you
some
before
more.
with the 80-20 rule,
Yeah.
20% of what you do is getting 80% of what you're getting done.
For sure,
So
for
that
sure.
means if you want to get better, you got to get less.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, if you get
I-
less, then you're going to be better. Because like I said, we used to sell our dogs for 1,000. Now it's 3,500.
Yeah.
Next, it's going to be probably $5,000. It's like I'm eliminating some people from buying my dogs, but there's always someone that got that money that will get that dog.
Always
No,
somebody
I
got that.
definitely gotta.
Yeah.
I gotta do some more editing. Like,
Okay, so you need to choose life rather than existence. What's the difference between choosing life or choosing just to be existing?
Existence is like you're
Choice.
just here to be here and you're not accomplishing anything.
Right? Okay. So if your life is happening by accident, all you're doing is existing.
Yeah.
It has to be intentional.
Yeah, you gotta be here for a
goals,
purpose.
You just paying the bills and trying to stay afloat.
Most broke people think a job is to pay bills. And what do most people do? They pay
They work-
bills with
yeah.
their whole check.
you know, the crazy thing is, like, people that work,
Uh-huh.
they just work to work. So they would pay their house bills so they can have lights and whatever, and then go back to work.
That's called
They
existence.
just
Continue
exist.
the whole cycle.
That's
then
not life.
let America take the taxes and,
Okay, so
and nine left
don't
over.
surrender your uniqueness for acceptance. That's existing.
Repeat again.
Don't surrender your uniqueness for acceptance.
Okay.
So they're trying to be accepted by a bunch of
Yeah.
group of people. You don't want to surrender your uniqueness. You want to do you. I
Yeah,
don't
be
care
you,
who's
yeah.
around you.
They'll follow you eventually.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, don't live for pleasure and profit rather than love and purpose.
Pleasure and profit.
So if you live for pleasure and profit, you are existing. 'Cause You're
Yeah.
waiting for that next pleasure hit, or you're waiting for the next, something that feels good for you.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
You're waiting for that next dollar you're gonna make.
I don't know about the profit.
I'm just saying, you gotta understand, if you love it and it's your purpose, money will follow you because you'll have
Yeah.
value.
Oh, I don't chase it.
Yeah.
I get to the point it chases
But
me.
the idea of profits, like I said, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to chase it like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Hey, it's not what you see, it's how you see.
Yeah.
So the idea is, like I said, a couple little mind shifts will make a world of difference in your life. Okay. Mind shifts that'll give you eyes to see. Right now, you don't have eyes to see all the opportunities you need to see
Yeah.
because it's just like a kid. I'm a 4-year-old kid. You don't give them the keys to your car. Okay, he ain't ready yet. God's not going to show you everything up front, because then you might not want to take that journey, because it might come through jail. You might come through, something happens tragic in your life, but he always has a plan at the end for you to prosper. So these 12 mind shifts give you eyes to see beyond present opportunities to future implications. So the first one is going to be, it's all about people. That's the first mind shift you got to get to.
It's all about
It's
people.
all about people. Now, let me explain why.
I can agree.
First part of your life is about acquiring things. You're there right now. A little bit.
Kind of things.
Yeah, you have a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Second part of your life is about having experiences. Okay, you're already starting to do that because you'd be traveling and going to different things.
Yeah.
So that's a second part of life. It shapes your identity, your self-worth, all that stuff. The third part is about people and relationships. The idea is you got to get to the point where you understand that things and experiences by yourself is not going to be much fun. Okay, because the shared experience is going to be phenomenal because you built memories, you built relationships. It kind of like gives a 10 multiplier when you do it. You go out and get a brand new car and no one sees it. I mean, the first thing you want to do is go around and show people, look at this. I like smelling new cars.
I would disagree.
Yeah, I'm just saying you might be beyond that.
Yeah,
But I'm
I didn't buy
saying-
my car for that.
No.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I hid like my Beamer from people for like a long time because I didn't the thing that I was like I didn't like I'm a humble person. I didn't want to flash it because that's not me,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to make other people feel some type of way. It's just
all right, here's a good question for y'all.
For us. For
Yeah,
you too.
this is for
Okay.
y'all. What's the interconnection between your private and your public self? Is there any difference
I mean,
between your private
yeah, for
and your
sure.
public self?
My private self is me and my wife at the moment. And my, what's it called?
Your public self is you and your wife at the moment. Because
My
I know
public-
about it. That's your public life.
yeah.
It's public and everybody else.
No,
Not what y'all do
What I
privately.
mean,
is
do
everything.
I'm talking about like if whatever stays in the house. The house.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's a little bit different. Okay.
Okay. Then public is whatever everybody know me as in the public in general, like what I do and stuff like that.
Okay, what I'm trying to get at is, do you change in private than what you do in public?
I used to be two different people, and like my wife will tell you, like, even when I was at home, it'd be like more controlling, whatever, and then when I was outside, it'd be like just this respectful, everybody like appreciate, everybody respect type of person. But now I'm the same. I try because there shouldn't be trying to be two different people. It's hard,
Oh,
So
yeah.
it is.
you know. So, and the crazy thing is, at the time, it really just felt natural. Because I didn't really know me, right? And I think that's probably why it was. And it was more like, okay, at home I need to be this and this and this because like this is like a wife and like she needs to see a husband, but then over there it's like, okay, this is who I am, let me just be me and be that, let me just be myself, but it need to be the same both ways. Well, let me just be myself.
So you got there. What about you, brother?
I say I'm pretty even like at home and outside in public because there's chances where you guys see me being controlling, like especially in soccer games, I'll be wanting control the game, take the ball, play midfield. It could be controlling. And then at home, there's times where I become controlling. There's times I'm just chilling, so I'm like right in the middle of it.
So you're the same at both?
Yeah, pretty balanced. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of people that are Jekyll and Hyde. You know what I mean? They go home and no one else sees it. It's like, it's on.
Yeah, that's
And
wild.
that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, you go
One-sided.
You leaving my life after that. That's too much.
Yeah. So what we're really looking for is alignment with our source. You can't have alignment with your source if you're two different people. You got to think about
Yeah,
that.
the people that be like, I have multiple personas,
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
multiple issues.
Okay, because one day of favor is better than a lifetime of labor. Favor is how God makes somebody else see you. That's your perspective, but God makes you, like say, if God puts favor on your life because you're aligned with the source, he's going to make somebody else see you a little bit different. You know, like they're trustworthy. They're able to, do things you need them to do. So one day of favor, basically, when you get in alignment and you're doing the right stuff and everything is moving, is worth a lifetime of labor. Because a lot of people try to get to that point, but you can't do it by yourself. You need your source to try and kind of jump in there. That's the definition of favor. So it's how your source allows others to see us. So this is gonna get you all a little bit. Okay, when you're driven, you're focused on your goals, you're ambitious and dreaming, you are relentless in your pursuit of excellence and greatness. And sometimes you even feel like people will actually pull you down. So when you hyper focus on your goals, the people in our lives go out of focus.
Could be a bad thing sometimes.
Can be.
Yeah.
What goes
Remember
out of
what I
focus
said?
again?
It's all about people. So the whole idea is like when you're really focused and you're really driven doing something, your focus actually goes away with the people around your life that really, really matter. Because I got to make this money. I got to, be able to provide for my family. Sometimes that wife just wants you at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like I said, you got to find that balance. When you hyper focus on something, everything in your life goes out of focus. So you could be the richest person in the world and still take the bridge.
Yeah, there's people that do
Because
it.
you're not fulfilled. Yeah, I'm
That's
saying that you got
crazy.
to understand it's about the relationships. It's not about the stuff. It's not about the experiences. It's about relationships with the person, using the stuff and experiences to build memories. So you just got to keep it in that alignment.
Understood.
Bingo alignment.
Yeah. So no one succeeds alone.
Oh yeah. I like
Okay.
that
For
one.
you to be successful and feel fulfilled, there's 3 things that you got to have. I don't think you guys remember this though.
I don't know if it's 3.
There's
it's
3
one.
things. You need to be creative.
Yeah, okay.
You need to have connection.
It's 3 C's.
Yeah, and you need contribution. Those 3
You
things.
could have just said 3
Yeah,
C's.
yeah.
But my 3 C's are different. It's creative, chances. What are the?
Everybody got chances, bro.
Hmm?
I'm telling you, these 3 things. If you fulfill these 3 things, you're gonna feel fulfilled. You need to be creative. That's why you go to a job and you do hamburgers all day. That's not being creative, so you're not feeling happy at your job. Okay, if you don't have connection, say you go all by yourself and make all this money, I'm hustling, doing all this stuff. I have no connection, no one else to try and share it with, or no one else to experience it with.
Yeah.
There's no connection, so you don't feel fulfilled. And if you don't make a contribution to the
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
that's no good.
Yeah, mine.
What
I-
you doing it for?
the ones that I heard, there's no contribution, just being creative, chances and connections.
Okay.
So
Okay, so success is far richer and more meaningful and more sustainable when you build it in the context of healthy relationships.
Yeah.
So you got to think about that. Are your relationships that you have with everybody in your circle, or whatever, are they healthy? Because
Yeah.
we got to
define healthy.
healthy, meaning like something that's moving you towards something. So it's positive.
Yeah.
Because you can have neutral relationships where you guys both get your needs met, but it's like that ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
agree.
yeah,
You said
idea-
across the board, or like
Across
my
the
primary
board.
people
Not-
that
not
I'm
Otherwise,
focused
they
on?
got to go. If they're not heading in your
Yeah.
direction, why are you carrying them with you?
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Like you cross the board or the primary people,
No,
because
across
not
the
everybody's gonna be involved.
board. Right.
That doesn't mean like just get rid
We
of them.
deal
I
with a
could
lot.
be.
We deal with, like he was talking about. We
friendly.
deal with a lot of people. You can be friendly, but you're not having them go with you.
Yeah.
I'm saying the ones that are going with you are the ones that are helping you get to where you're trying to go.
Agreed.
So we must create space and opportunities for others. So do people elevate when they're in the gravitational pull of your life? Okay, it's all in your focus. Remember what I said, when you're getting to the top of the mountain, are you up there looking down, seeing everybody down there? Or are you helping them on the way up? The idea is, like I said, to have a healthy relationship, you got to look around you and see who you want to come with you. And, sometimes it takes a little longer, but when you get to the top, everybody's enjoying it.
Right.
That's why I see a lot of, like Jewish families. It's like they keep the business in the family. They
I
don't
like
spend
the
that money
sound
on
of that.
anything else.
They
That's
said
why they get rich. You know what I mean?
they said
That's
Jewish
totally opposite of
people-
the African American family, where they're just social. They don't care who they buy from as long as it's cheapest and I look the best. It's like, wow, then you're just
the crazy
spreading
thing
your
is
wealth.
Jewish people, even if they know that that person has the terrible product, they'll still buy from that person and invest and make sure that product gets
It's
up to
better.
par.
That's what I'm saying.
It
Bring 'em up
doesn't
with you.
matter. Like
Yeah.
even if it's like 10 times shittier than anywhere else, and even if it's more expensive, they still go buy there and just invest in that until like the product gets to that level.
So I gotta be Jewish in order to be a part of that.
No.
That's the problem though. Like,
So you gotta
the
be-
No,
idea,
the idea
take their
is-
So you gotta-
idea and build yours.
that's gonna bring
Talking about-
division. You're gonna have Jewish
Right.
people. You're gonna have African Americans. You're gonna have
You're
the
gonna have
whites. You're gonna have
division no
Hispanic, and they're
matter
all
what.
gonna be only focused on their certain group and their ideology.
I mean,
Correct.
then everybody else
Because
is getting
here's
themselves
the
richer.
thing. When there's an African proverb that says, "Help starts at home."
Yo, that's
Agreed.
correct.
So it doesn't help that you take your money and you spend it for like a whole different community while your community is
Yeah, going
Poor.
poor. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
your community is like the poorest, and you taking the little bit of money you have, you're giving it to a
100%
community that
agree
doesn't
with
care
you, but
about
not I'm not talking crazy about the Jewish people, but like they've been just sticking to their. It's already working, but
Yeah.
they never go outside of that to even like build another community. Like you just forever gonna be just helping your home.
They take their ideas and they have built up their community to where it's functional.
Successful
Yeah,
everywhere.
and successful. So if they go outside their community with something, they're going to make sure they deal with people that are actually keeping stuff, the way they do it, because it's their beliefs.
So how can we help the African American community to be in line in one vision? That's the problem. They're not in line. And
First,
everybody's not
let's come
agreeing with it.
together first. We're not even together.
But start
That's-
at home
yeah.
first, and other than
And
that,
that's
expand.
understanding
Digest the
truth
issues.
that we are all one. I mean, everything that the media does, everything they try to divide. So you have to understand what they're trying to do first.
That's why I was talking shit about the
Yeah.
Jewish people. But all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's some
This
questions to ask
episode is gonna
yourself.
get
Hey.
censored.
Please censor that. I got.
you trying to kill us here. Yeah.
there's a lot of good people I know.
All right. So, am I investing in the success of others? Am I choosing to be kind rather than right? Do I tip well when other people serve you? Am I taking time to acknowledge the people around you? So, remembering names and stuff. Do I speak well of people even if they're not in the room? Am I helping people who cannot help me? So that's the idea of trying to pull yourself up and allow everybody else around you to do better.
Okay.
And being a good
Good point.
listener and seeing life through the template of relationships. So good experiences are good alone, but shared experiences can be phenomenal. The idea is when you share it, like I said, you're creating memories, you're creating relationships, and it's going to last a lifetime. The experience is going to end, but memories and relationships, last a lifetime. So if relationships are your highest value, you'll make time to nourish and invest in them. Are you investing in your relationships?
I am right now.
Same
I am.
here.
We started like 3 different companies, me and my wife. So I'm more invested in our relationship now, and like I'm working towards just like solely working with her, and like we started like 3 different businesses, and we're just trying to see where it takes us, and just being supportive.
So when you invest in somebody, there's 3 things that we're going to be judged at the end of time, what we did with when we meet our source. What's the 3 things we get judged for?
Your time,
Uh-huh.
your energy. I think was it?
No.
I don't remember time. Honestly.
I don't
I
remember.
don't really know all that.
Your time, your words. I remember this a couple weeks ago, but I forgot. I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember. I'll be.
So time is definitely one of them.
Mm.
Your talents
Yeah.
and your treasure.
Mm.
So your money, your time, your talent, and your treasure. Because God gives you certain, ingrained talents that you could use to try and, help other people. He doesn't give them to you so you better yourself.
Yeah.
He gives them so you support other people. And your money, like I said, where your heart is basically where your money goes.
Mhm.
So, okay. So we're still talking a little bit about people. So you remember you need to put in what you expect to get out of a person. So if you're expecting something from your wife or from a close friend, you have to put in what you expect to get out.
No, I won't say expectations lead to disappointments.
Did I say expectations?
Don't be expectations.
Yeah,
I
you s-
just said you have to put in what you think you're going to get back from
e-
it.
Oh, I
even
get what you're
even
saying.
thinking
I
about
see what
that
you're saying.
because
But understand this: you have to put in what is going to come out.
I absolutely
You cannot ask them
yeah.
for something they don't have. It's like going to a bank, say I'm gonna take out $1,000.
Yeah.
I haven't put nothing in there. No, you ain't gonna. Do
But
it
I'm
for
saying,
free.
even
Yeah,
if
you
you
know
go
it's
to the
in there.
bank right now, even if you have $10,000, they're not gonna give you that
Yeah,
because
they-
they. No, I'm saying they're not gonna
They're
give
gonna
you right
have-
away.
they're gonna have to say,
They're gonna be like,
I'll
come back
get it to you."
next. Yeah,
Not cash. If you want
Yeah.
to cash your
but I'm
check,
saying that's
you
what
can
I'm
get
saying.
whatever you
That's
But
a
want.
good
I
point.
think just this is what I learned too. Like just because you put into something, because you have to think about unconditional love.
Mhm.
So you should be giving and not expecting or not thinking about getting anything back. If I don't know if I'm probably twisting
No, you're in
something
the right
else.
track. You good.
So like that's the thing, like not expecting or not thinking I'm gonna get anything. Just do it because you gotta do it is you doing it for you, not doing it for other people, not expecting or not be like, okay, if I put this what's gonna come out or anything like that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like I'm not expecting anything to like come out to benefit me, but I'm just putting because I love the feeling of putting it, doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. Like I said, you have to do it to have any expectation of it coming back to you. Okay. All right. So mind shift number 2: you don't need an audience. What the heck is that talking
You
about?
don't need nobody to see what you're doing. Do everything in silence.
So why is everybody looking for an audience?
They need attention.
Attention.
They've been
Currency now.
programmed to think they need
Paying
audience.
attention is getting currency from somebody. All right. So we need different mental structures to create a different life. So if you're doing something and you're getting a certain output, if you don't like your output, you have to change what's in there.
Yeah.
So to create lasting change, a person has to change their heart, beliefs, and their mind and create alignment. Okay, you got to think about that. You have to have an alignment to have a change. Because you can think, oh, it's bad to drink that Mountain Dew. But if your heart says, man, I like that caffeine, it makes me feel good, I'm never going to change. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
All right, here's some basic principles for success. Keep your promises both to yourself and others.
Mhm.
So what does that do? If you keep your promises and your word is your bond, what's that do for you?
I think that teaches you
Credibility.
discipline.
Definitely discipline, credibility for sure,
Mhm.
accountability. Hold
Mhm.
yourself
You said keep them to
accountable.
yourself only. Can you
It says
say that
keep
again?
your promises both to yourself and to others.
Yeah.
I don't know about the others, but I hear you.
No, the people that you're
If you don't
promising
keep your
something.
promises
No, I
to
agree.
other
Yeah.
people, then you eventually you're basically lying to yourself. If you promise somebody else and you don't follow
That's why I don't
Yeah.
make promises. I'm gonna give you
Okay,
directly what
I'm-
I'm gonna do or
I'm
not.
about to get there. So make very few promises and replace them with commitments. Okay, when you promise something, like I said, you got to keep it. So
The moment you
says-
say it's a promise, it's 50-50 to me. Like if I tell you I promise something, I swear to God I'm not gonna do it. Because just me telling you is me being nice. Like that's how I
so
roll.
why would you promise it?
That's what I'm saying. If I say if the word promise come out in there's 8 out of 10 chances I'm not gonna fall through it
I believe you.
because I'm using it as a sugar coat.
Okay, so
That's just me.
So what you need to do is make very few promises, and you have to replace them with commitments. If you're committed to something, you'll do it. So finish what you start, and only start what you're willing to finish.
Oh shit, that's
If
me
you're
right
not
there.
willing to finish it, don't start it.
Mm.
Because if you do that, then you're not going to be trustworthy.
Mhm.
You're going to be trustworthy, grateful, humble, and take responsibility. Oh my goodness. What is humble to you? Say, I am humble. What's that mean to you? Is that thinking less of yourself?
I mean, just for me, it's just I don't need much to, continue.
Need much makes
I-
you.
I-
mean,
I think humble for me is I know who I am.
Mhm.
And I'm in my own space, and I don't need attention. I don't need to flaunt anything,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna disrespect or like get out of pocket or anything.
Okay.
That's just for me. That's how I describe humble.
Right. Here's a good definition of humble for you to take. Humble is not thinking less of yourself, which some people think I'm going to diminish myself so I don't make somebody else feel like they don't have something or that,
Yeah.
It's thinking more of what
I
your
never thought of it
source
like that.
thinks of you. So you're not supposed to be less, you're supposed to be more. The only way you can be more is thinking about what the source
That was
thinks.
the opposite thing.
What?
What you just I mean not like well people humble is like somebody who's open minded to me. Like somebody who's willing to learn and is already know themselves. Like he's content. Like
So if you think more about what the source thinks about you, is that making you more content? Is that making you more all that stuff you're talking about? Because some people think humble is thinking less of yourself. You don't want to flaunt. You don't want to do things that make somebody else feel bad. But
this is the first
the
time.
the idea is when you actually do more than what they think you can do, you unconsciously give them permission to do it. Okay, because you can lessen yourself all you want, but you being less does not make anybody else feel better about themselves.
They want that.
Yeah, yeah. So the idea is you do what God says about you, and like I said, let everything else come out in the wash. That's humble.
I thought humble was a positive word, but the way you define it,
Humble is a positive word. Think about what God says about you. That's being humble.
I always look at it that way.
Okay. So you have to actually believe that people's lives can be different. They can change to become the best version of themselves. There is greatness within you waiting to be revealed or awakened. That's why needing to master the frequency of communications. We can hit that again sometime. But the idea is when I'm communicating to somebody and I'm trying to help them, if I'm not speaking in their way that they hear, it's not going in. So if I'm yelling, screaming, and telling them, sometimes the kids are like, man, I do this all the time at home. They're better at that communication level than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime they get loud, I get soft. Like I said, it's almost opposite. They need more healer. They need somebody to know that they love them, to know that they, respect them. And, then that allows them to listen to what's going on. It used to be you had to earn an audience through years of harnessing and developing your talents. Now we try to find a way to build an audience, and then we shape ourselves to become what they need to keep that audience. That's what's going on now.
Yeah, that's true right now.
Yeah. So the idea, like I said, is anything comes quick, it's going to go away quick too. So we're almost done. It's actually called audience capture. There's actually a name for it now. It's not about who you are or what you've accomplished. It's about how others perceive your success or your personality. It's not about who you are as a person, but who you are as a personality. Really, your personality is your personal reality. The idea is, like I said, they're actually jumping on your bandwagon because of how you're acting. And if you're acting and it's not you, then it becomes a heavy weight. That's why people, they lose 1,000 followers or something and they're ready to do something stupid.
Yeah.
So are you capturing an audience or is the audience capturing you? So if the audience is capturing you, then they're basically controlling you and changing your personality. And like I said, that's not what you want.
Yeah. They're changing the outcome.
Yeah. So once you go to public, you're actually in a pressure cooker. You have an image, but you may not have the substance to sustain that image. Okay. You need that character and the substance to, like I said, whatever you build has to have a foundation. So the psychological energy it takes to pretend to already have arrived while you're still figuring it out is exhausting, taxing, and potentially self-destructive. You cannot sustain a life built from the outside in. So if you're looking around and trying to figure out what everybody wants to see, that's building your life from the outside in.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, you got to go from the inside out. Otherwise, it's not real.
Mm.
They call that imposter syndrome. Like I said, they come up with words that makes it true, I guess, So faking something that you don't even believe yourself. Faking isn't about stretching yourself to accomplish more than you've ever done before. It's about convincing others that you're something you're not. That's the imposter syndrome.
That's acting.
Yeah, it's just acting, yeah. So if your identity and self-worth are shaped more by what others think of you than by your internal measures, you're going to have to live at the mercy of the opinion of others, and you'll never know your true self. That's why if you really want to find your identity, really want to find yourself, you got to kind of get away from everybody else. You'll go through a time in your life where there's really nobody that's really putting into your life. You're just searching and finding what's actually in there.
Right.
So you don't need an audience to prepare for the biggest moments in your life. You want to commit to greatness when you have no audience. Difference between greatness and fame. What's fame? Anybody know?
It's when a lot of people know you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is what you're actually known for. Greatness is actually what you are.
Mm.
So the idea is the people that search for fame, they put all the energy in fame, they truly never figure out who they are.
Right.
So greatness takes time. In the early stages, it looks like practice. Every great novelist has written millions of words that people have never read. Just like, you've had millions of hours probably, filming and doing different things that people never saw. All they see now is your end product.
Yeah.
Not really realizing the amount of energy you put into getting to where you're at right now.
Even the end product could be better.
Yeah. Well, that's your way of communicating. Okay, most of us think we need an audience to reveal your greatness. The truth is, the audience will actually sidetrack you from your future. Okay, your audience is going to play into your mind where you think you got to perform for them. You got to do things that they want to see. So you actually perform for your audience, but you develop for yourself. Greatness is grown in private. Okay, it's not grown in on a platform or whatever. Okay, so if you need applause to be great, you'll never survive the process. Here's something to remember. The crowd will meet you at the finish line.
Yeah, that's true.
They always come at the
100%.
end.
You ain't lying. They show up when you got, you're finally, on all cylinders.
Mhm.
Okay, but you're
That's
resilient.
the way it should be, though.
Well,
I ain't gonna be applauding you for just being you because you cute. You gotta do something great. Hey, I'll see you when you do it great. That's
so
all.
when you going to do something great, Mo?
Hey,
Ooh.
I'm still in the process.
Hey.
Still work in process.
What are you working on?
Like you said, it has to be private, right?
At least you
Put
listen.
your own words against it.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I'm almost done. Okay, when you make a commitment to show up for yourself, you'll be surprised how many people will show up for you. So the idea is the more, you commit to something and the more you get better at something, eventually other people will show up for you also. But you got to believe in yourself first. And then other people will show.
I feel it. It's a great topic.
Yeah. So last thing I want to ask you guys or tell y'all, go to the job like an entrepreneur. What's that mean? You show up to your job tomorrow like an entrepreneur.
I've been doing it for years, Liam. I just show it to grab the check, use that check, flip it somewhere else.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then
That's all
I
right.
show what you mean. Yeah.
No, if you're showing up like an entrepreneur, and basically as an entrepreneur, you're not really following directions from people. You're not really doing like the norm that everybody's doing all the time. You're actually showing them different ways of doing stuff. Because an entrepreneur doesn't think the same way, doesn't see the same way as someone that's been in a profession for a long time.
Oh yeah, I definitely have a lot of aspects of that. Like currently that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm just doing like a night something to work with, and I have to be creative about it to like output what they want and what I can like give out. So that's why they hired me.
Okay.
Like the uniqueness in that.
I think the idea is going to whatever you do, not like as a worker, but as an entrepreneur, is not being a soldier, right? Not doing stuff to what they have it in the book, because there's other ways, there's other, be creative, do it differently. This is why, the Elon Musk, these rich people would rather hire a lazy person, because that lazy person does not want to do what soldiers do, because soldiers do a lot of heavy lifting and stuff that are like stuff exactly down to the T. But lazy people are creative,
Oh my God.
very creative. They're going to find the easiest way and the fastest way to get stuff done.
Yep.
I think that's the reason why you got to be.
Would you call it lazy or would you call it actually
It's creative.
being
It's
smart though?
Absolutely.
I won't call it lazy, just being smart. Like,
But
I
I'm
don't
saying
know.
physically lazy, but mentally
Smart.
smart.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
mentally being creative
like
and
that a
finding
lot.
different ways to do something, or a simpler way to do something. That's just disrupting.
Disrupting.
Yeah, that manageable, thing, and like do not be managed. Like take a lead and see something, do it differently. I think that's what I think.
That's how an entrepreneur
yeah.
sees.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I could go in there and do the same thing everybody else does, and I'd actually win awards.
And then you become part of the system. You don't want to be
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
system.
The system ain't working.
Yeah, the system hasn't worked for a long time, and the system is designed to keep you there.
If the system keeping me away from soccer, I swear to God, it's gonna be away from me to finesse the system. I'm telling you.
Please funny to keep
Telling
away.
you, I've been doing that all my life. Yeah, but yeah, I hear you though. Like my time is precious sometimes, especially when it comes to soccer.
Every time.
All right. Well, I guess that's it, brother.
Yeah. That is the end.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening.